Welcome to Conversations to Connect. Today, I am pleased to introduce one of our members of Eastern Ontario Women in Business, Jennifer Maloney. And Jennifer is with IG Wealth Management. She's in financial planning and she's also a division director. So we have a wealth of knowledge sitting before us. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Now, Jennifer, can you explain what it is that you do?
It's always such a loaded question. So effectively, as a financial planning practice, we take we're a little bit different than some in that we take a very compassion-based approach. We predominantly focus on working with women. Often the relationships that I find most rewarding and the work that I enjoy most is working with individuals that are looking for they're looking for some clarity, and it's often the case that they've had a relationship or had some advice from somebody that left them feeling a bit either overwhelmed or overlooked. In some cases, I'm talking to widows that the predominant relationship was with a male advisor that didn't necessarily resonate with them. They felt like they were well looked after by their loved one, but the relationship doesn't resonate anymore, and they're not really sure how well looked after they are. They're the other sort of group of individuals that seems to be one that comes about over and over is divorced women that are sort of in that second stage of life. They didn't necessarily picture themselves single at this sort of at this sort of juncture, and again they're looking for some clarity. They sometimes don't know what their financial goals are. They never anticipated that they would actually be able to retire, and we're able to help them sort of see that is in fact a possibility, and even sort of the how. And the other notion is that they didn't actually, in some cases, they didn't actually realize how much wealth they had, and so now they can see that there might be a tax problem, there might be an estate planning, some estate planning issues that they need to deal with, and we want to take a really gentle approach to what can be really tough conversations.
All of those are extremely valid points. And I think I probably know women who have fallen into each and every one of those categories. As we know, or for those who aren't aware, financial planning is a male dominated industry. That although women are shaking up the status quo and they are rising up to the top, it still is male dominated. So it's really nice to be able to know that we have women in the field, in our communities, who are there willing to help us. And Jennifer's not just a financial planner, she's also a business owner. For all of you ladies out there who are small business owners and you're living in the trenches day in and day out, Jennifer knows exactly what that looks like and what those struggles are. Jennifer, can you let us know how you would help those women?
Certainly. So it's often a bit of a misconception, because IG Wealth is such a big company, and we are all the way across Canada, that we are like other sort of financial corporations, like the banks. But the reality is I actually own the relationships with my clients. The families that I look after, those are relationships that I have fostered and earned the respect of, and as a result have some equity ownership in my practice, in the same way that an independent might. The beauty of working with IG in that aspect, though, is that they look after things like compliance and whatnot, and so my clients can be sort of rest assured that there's a bit of oversight, and that they're never going to be sort of at risk in that way. In terms of how I can help other business owners, because I am a business owner, my practice, and I do have a business partner, we often do a lot of planning with small businesses, and even sort of medium-sized corporations. Helping clients answer the question, should I be incorporated or should I not? You do my financial planning for my personal stuff, and I have this accountant, and he mentioned something about this. Should I have a trust? And all of these sorts of questions. What should I be doing with the extra earnings in my business that I don't need to to pay things like payroll and inventory, and how do I deal with profit in a tax effective way? And we deal with a lot of those questions in a forward planning look. Whereas the accountants will help you sort of plan for this year or next year. They typically aren't looking sort of years down the road. And how do I leave my business to the son that is starting to work hard in the business? How do I sell my business? There's lots of sort of those questions that we end up helping clients with.
So really what we're getting with Jennifer is a well-rounded approach. She can look at everything from that personal perspective, and whether there's been some really major life milestone changes, she can help you navigate that. But she can also help you navigate the business side of your finances and your wealth as well. And I think the beautiful thing when you're dealing with an independent or a financial advisor at IG Wealth is there is no hourly rate. So it's not like some independents where you sit and chart or pay an individual fee just to have the consultation. That's part of the service that Jennifer and her business partner provide to you. Is that accurate, Jennifer?
Absolutely. You're never going to receive a bill for financial planning. The anticipation is that if we do good work, and you believe that the plan is the kind of plan you'd like to move forward with, then we would look after the assets that would help to do that. And as a result, I grow my practice from the sort of assets that I manage, and in any cases where I might sell products. In some cases, there's an insurance need or a risk management need to ensure that a family is protected until wealth grows. And so obviously I would receive a commission for that sort of thing. So there is no charge specifically for the financial planning. All of that comes under sort of the advisory fee that you pay that are inside of your investments. There are advisory fees that you're paying currently to somebody that may or may not be providing you advice. It's basically just a cost of doing business, and it's something that you're going to pay from a bank, or it's something you're going to pay at an insurance company. It's not any different with us, except that you are going to get the financial planning that goes with it.
It's a universal standard. So regardless of where you're at, it's something that is already coming out, and you just may not realize that it's there. The nice thing with Jennifer is that she would actually sit down and explain what that is, what it looks like, and why it is there. So Jennifer, you said that you do have a business partner. Can you tell me a little bit about how that came about?
Charles and I have both been with IG about a decade. I joined the company about 6 months before he did, and we realized that we were sort of the correct match of right brain, left brain. So his background is in engineering. Mine is not. I actually have a degree in philosophy. So we often joke that I people, he numbers. So you get both the technical and the I guess that sort of gentle personal. I mean, we're both very personable individuals, and I'm actually quite strong technically as well. But where our sort of strengths and passions lie are in me focusing on the personal and him focusing on the technical, and you sort of get the best of both worlds. And sometimes there are individuals that want very detailed technical information, and they will resonate quite well with Charles, and other times they're looking for that very sort of gentle, I just want to trust you, help look after me approach. And they aren't looking for they want sort of grocery store analogies and really sort of high level stuff, and that's probably where I'm better suited.
So it sounds like an amazing match between the two of you. So you really do have all avenues and all angles looked after within your practice and within your team, which is awesome. Now, for those that are watching, I will let you know that Jennifer is one busy lady. She is a mom of 4. She runs her own practice with a business partner and is a division director, helping other financial advisors maximize the benefits that they can have as a business owner and on an impact of different families. Now, Jennifer, for the ladies who are watching this and think that money just is too overwhelming, I'll never have enough, what sort of advice could you give to them?
give me a call. We should have a conversation. It's money should not be overwhelming, and often it is the single greatest stressor in a family. It is often the single greatest stressor in an individual's life, and it doesn't need to be. Advice isn't expensive, and I believe it is as necessary as an annual checkup with your doctor. I think that everybody deserves good advice, and that comes with dealing with a certified financial planner, which is what Charles and I both are. If you are thinking, well, I don't mind Jennifer, but I also know somebody else that is in finance, absolutely reach out to that person. The gold standard, though, is you should be dealing with a certified financial planner. They're going to have the breadth of knowledge necessary to be able to help you with effective tax planning and risk management planning, investment planning, and retirement planning. You are not necessarily going to get that kind of advice from somebody who isn't a certified financial planner.
Those are great words of advice, Jennifer. And I love that you also prefaced that if there's somebody in your life that you know and you trust and they're in the financial world, by all means, please reach out to them. I also believe that it is very prudent to interview a couple of financial planners to make sure that you are getting not just the best advice, but also the best fit for you and your personal situation. And Jennifer's in this for the long haul. She's not a short-term advisor for you. She really is in this with a long-term solution and a game plan. She's in it to win it to the very end with you. And that's most important when you're dealing with a financial advisor. Jennifer, if there was one thing that you'd like to sum up before we part ways, what words of wisdom could you offer?
Don't wait. Never, ever have I met with a client that said, I wish I'd started later. Everybody wishes they'd started earlier. And also, don't be ashamed. If you think you have more debt than you ought to, if you think you haven't done the planning you should have already, and that's preventing you from reaching out. A good planner should have no judgment there, and it should just be about looking forward and how to do better moving forward. And there should be a healthy balance of living in that savings, not sort of handcuffing you to the savings aspect of life. You should get to live before retirement too.
You should get to live before retirement. That in itself is worth its weight in gold. So no judgment. So Jennifer offers you no judgment. If you think you're in over your head, she can help you wade through the mess. And it is never too late to start. We can always say, I wish I had started sooner, which could be very valid, but it is never too late to start. And it's never too late to get yourself on the right track. And if you find yourself in a position right now that you're looking for some good, sound advice without judgment, somebody who's going to offer you a really clear path to how you and your business can be prosperous, wealthy, and so you can live before you retire, I strongly encourage you to reach out to Jennifer. I know that a conversation with her will really enlighten you, and it will make the weight on your shoulders just a little bit lighter. Jennifer, thank you so much for taking the time today to share a little bit about you and your business and what you do. I know your time is precious and that you do have a full schedule, but you always have room for another coffee conversation from one of the ladies in our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sherry. Have a great day.
You too.